Okay, we're here again with another guest who is going to introduce herself.
Yeah. Well, my name is Tabitha Nyaziel. I am a youth leader. I am an author and a mother. Yeah.
Beautiful. A youth leader, an author, and a mother. Ooh, you wear many hats, but I'm sure you manage all of them pretty well.
I do. I try to.
You try to. That's her being humble.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you please give us your perspective on fatherhood, especially within the Black community?
Fatherhood, especially in our community in diaspora, is very, very important. And if it comes in a form of conversation, is even a needed one. We needed our fathers, or we need our children fathers in their lives, or we needed men in general in our communities.
Absolutely.
It's just in every way possible. There is no way we're ever going to go anywhere as a community in all the areas controlled by men that we will ever thrive without a man.
Ooh.
It's not gonna happen.
Yes.
It is not gonna happen.
All the areas that are controlled by men.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen without them.
Yes.
Yeah. The fact that we think we could do it, that's a big of a lie in itself. So
beautiful perspective. So not only are the children in need of the fathers in their lives, we the adults need our fathers in our lives, or we needed them. And in general, we just need a man in our lives to be present.
Exactly. A man will be all of that at once. A man will be the community leader. A man will be a father. A man will be a husband. And guess what? A man will be the spiritual guider.
The spiritual guide
In that community. And so where do we don't need them? Where?
Oh, we need them. We need them. You hear that? You are a need, not even a want. So please show up. Thank you.
Or instead of show up, they have to feel that we need them.
Ooh, tell me a little bit about that. I feel like I've heard that from men quite often.
Well,
Yes.
sometimes, it's one thing for someone to know their position and say, "This is my position. This is to my, to the level that I can take it. This is what I do with it." But then, when the surrounding or the people that are being affected by what he does are not showing that need, at some point you feel like you're not needed, you're not required. And I think that's part of the conversation that we're having, that men feel like they're not required. Women feel like they can live without men. Where did we get that? That you can live without a man? Like, where do you get that? Right?
2024.
No,
21st century.
Diaspora. That one, I don't think so, because that just get us into more trouble.
Absolutely.
More
And divide, I
Exactly.
find.
Division becomes a result. So exactly.
Yeah.
In our communities, in our households, and everywhere possible. So not only that, they have to take care of what we hold them to, but they also have to feel that need.
We have to make room for that.
Exactly. We have, and sometimes, needing someone comes in different ways. Sometimes it shows up as appreciation. You know that if you're not here, something would be going wrong. Something is not going to work well, right? So we appreciate that you're actually taking the part that you're supposed to take. We don't do that a lot. It's like, that's your responsibility. But what if I'm not here?
But that's what we hear a lot too, though. I find like that. I find that the conversation goes way back to like being raised to expect this. You expect the man to just know his role and to just do his role, and we don't see a lot of appreciation in our upbringing for most of us anyway. So we just feel like all we need to do is call you out when you're not showing up, but we don't see the role that we play in it by failing to appreciate, by failing to make room, by failing to ask for it sometimes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we call granted, or taking something for granted. Something is being given and it's not being appreciated. That's really where that terms come from, right? So if we know that someone is doing what they're supposed to do, what if they're not doing it? Would we call them?
We'll be quick to talk.
Exactly. What if they do? Why are we not saying that it's actually right that you do it? And that's what we're forgetting. We're taking things for granted. Oh, that's your responsibility. But okay, it's my responsibility and it's only being taken care of because I'm here. Imagine if I'm not. What if I decide that I'm not going to be here? Well, the complaint could be,
You're not here.
Yeah. We would say, well, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Well, we were not saying that I'm supposed to do it, or at least it's good that I'm doing it when I was doing it. So there's a lot of accountability that has to go around, actually.
See, and I can even challenge that conversation further by saying it starts with the self, right? Because I can tell you that within my field of work, when you ask someone to tell you about their strength, they struggle. When you ask somebody to tell you about what's going wrong, what's not going right in their life, it comes easy. Because we're easily able to identify the negatives.
Or maybe we've been allowed to see what is lacking quicker than what is
Bingo. And because even with ourselves,
exactly,
that's how it is.
If people
that's
are
what
quicker,
we transfer.
Exactly. If people are quicker to tell us you're lacking something in this area, of course we're gonna look at it, and that's going to be the most easiest thing to identify within ourselves.
Absolutely.
Then our strengths and other great thing about us.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Absolutely. Because even going back to our children and raising our children, we're easy to say, stop doing that, you're doing this wrong, you're being bad, but how many times do we sit our children down when they're doing something right and say, oh my goodness, you're doing something right. Thank you. Please keep doing that. Right? Those words of affirmation, like we lack that in. I don't think it's even like just a Black people problem. I think it's a human.
Yeah, of course. More communities are joining other communities. We probably have started this earlier. That we're not seeing what is being done. We're seeing what is not being done. And so, and that actually, personally, I think that it stems from a place of competition. When people look at themselves and they can only see what you have more than that I do not have. If I don't have it, then it means much more, because now you have it more and I have it less. That's competition, because you're not feeling as if you've done anything until I do not have it, right? So if we're thinking from that place, of course, we're not going to be able to point out the thing that people are doing great, because as an example that you've given earlier, we look at our children and we say, why didn't you do well in this? Why don't you do well in this? Because sometimes we use our own children to carry on the race that we have started. We're doing that competition, we're having a competition with our neighbors, so we can't go ourselves. We have to use our own children, and we're saying, why don't you go? Why are you not the first on the race? Why not like this, right? Because from a place of lack, we're not looking at what has been done. We're looking at what has not been done.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh. This conversation will be continued on the podcast, hopefully. Hopefully she'll come on board. But for now, we'll let her go because we've held her back for too long.
Yeah.
Thank you
No worries.
so much, Tabitha, for your perspective.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.